We've been bringing you details of the excellent production Rhythm of the Dance, which tours the UK between the 26th of June and the 31st of July. There are about 30 venues nationwide. You can visit rhythmofthedance.com for all details. Also, to view trailers of the show and get the inside track on the dance and the music. Now, there's a banner on our website, irishradio.org. Just click, takes you to the official website. Now, it's a spectacular show which we've thoroughly enjoyed on previous tour. Now, Rhythm of the Dance has played to sell-out appreciative audiences worldwide and has been televised. However, the production team aren't resting on their laurels. They're constantly reworking it to keep it fresh. Here to tell us more about that, I'm delighted to welcome the lead dancer and choreographer, Dane McKiernan. Dane, lovely to speak to you.
How are you, Jerry? Lovely to be on with you today. Thanks for having us.
A real pleasure. Now, Dane, before we focus on the Rhythm of the Dance, I'm interested to find out where it all began for you. You're from a small village and Gaeltacht, Rockcarn in County Meath. Now, the history is fascinating, as originally families from Connemara settled there on land acquired by the Irish Land Commission. It must have been a great childhood, and Irish culture is integral in the Irish-speaking area.
Yeah, that's absolutely right. Like, growing up there definitely is what gave me the bug for Irish everything, like Irish music, Irish song and dance. Everything is so prevalent there. Like, as a kid, before I would have even been in my official Irish dancing classes, I just would have grown up surrounded by the music, song and dance in the area, because there's a great rich culture there, and like they just really they nourish the language and the arts so much. So it was just kind of, I wouldn't even say drilled into us, it was just readily available on your doorstep. You grow up listening to these tunes and it just becomes like, it gets into your bones. So then as the years went by and I saw Riverdance then on the TV, like so many people, it was a very easy decision when I wouldn't stop jumping around the place for the parents to be like, right, you into Irish dancing class. So that was 6 years old, Dane into his Irish dancing class, and then fast forward 12 years, and then I joined Riverdance. So it came full circle from being the little kid that grew up always wanting to do it, and then to end up actually part of Riverdance, the show, was great. I started out with Rhythm of the Dance. That was my very first audition and show, and I did 2 years here. And even I dabbled into the band here for 6 months, and then I went back to the dance troupe. Then I joined Riverdance and went and did the whole, world tour, the Gaiety Theatre tours, everything. Loved it, absolutely, cherished my time with Riverdance. It was such a childhood dream. And after growing up just surrounded by music and dance, it was just so obvious to come back. Not obvious, but I was lucky to be able to come back to rhythm and start to kind of get involved creatively in 2014. Kieran was kind enough to put together a wonderful new team in 2014 and really wanted to just make sure that we were going to last another 10, 15, 20, 50, who knows how many years. So yeah, he got in a new fresh team and away we went to work. And we've been putting out new productions every year, every other year, because that's really important with rhythm, is that it's always kept fresh. Kieran is adamant that we return to the same territories, and that we want these same audience members coming again and again, but that they get to experience something completely different each time. So it's been great. Now we're raring and ready to go with our latest brand new production. We put that together during the pandemic, which was a great time to be able to focus and give yourself something to focus on as well when we were so uncertain in that market of entertainment. So yeah, we put together a brand new show and we went Scandinavian tour, American tour, and now we are about to embark on our UK tour. We're currently in rehearsals in Drogheda in County Meath. So an easy spin up the road for me this morning, and we've just been dancing all day. It is so good to be back with the troupe and just raring to go now for Sunday. We are absolutely gasping to get in front of a live audience and just have that exchange of energy, because it's a real high energy show. So just once you get that audience in front of you, and that from the minute the opening explodes, the opening's called Genesis, and it really literally is that. It's introducing the stars of the show, which is every single cast member, be they a dancer, a singer, a musician, Our band as well would be, and vocalists are they're all multi-talented, so they're playing, at least one, if not two, some of them three instruments at different times. One might play the guitar, one plays the fiddle, or they switch back. We've got whistle, flute, two fiddles, two guitars, three bowron players who all have different roles within the show at different times. It's real multi-talented, layered. They're the most dream cast that I've ever come upon now. Like, we've been so lucky. Like, there is an endless pool of talent in Ireland and outside of Ireland, like, for people who are trained in Irish music, trad music, have the right vocal sound as well, have that Irish voice. Sometimes we have an Irish singer, sometimes we have English singers, sometimes we have three Irish tenors. It could be a female, it could be a male, it's different every 6 months to a year. We change the configuration because, again, if we're returning to these regions, it's great to return, even if it is the same song, that it's arranged differently or that it's just a little bit different every time. But this really is the overhaul tour. I cannot wait to hit the UK for the summer because it just starts with such a bang. And straight away, the audience they're drawn in, and it's such a powerful opening. Like, I know I did create it, but it's something that has evolved over time. I love an opening sequence of any show when you're making something new. The opening is that first, like, essence of, you're going to give them a taster of it's 8 minutes long, this opening. It's very, like, continuously building, and I just love it. So that's my favorite scene in the show for sure, is the big epic opening, and then we segue right back into old Ireland, takes us right back to the beginning to the Shannon singing and the, like, more raw traditional elements of the music and the dance. And then as the show progresses through, we move through time until we get, without giving everything away, right, until we get to the end, right up to the modern, powerful, strong, what's the word I'm trying to search for? A united, passionate Irish, yeah, as we are so much. So it really comes through the song and the dance. Everything is like a lovely journey, and it's all live, high energy, but there's really, really nice, raw, traditional, like, you'd hear a pin drop moments. Like, some of the songs in there, we've got, I like to say, we've got mix of the best of the old and the best of the new, and a little sprinkle of something you never thought you'd be to expect, because I love that mystery around Irish shows and Celtic, like all the mythological and folklore that we have embedded in the history. So it's, that kind of is always that little magic element of the Irish dance show format. So add in an incredibly talented band, the best dancers on the planet. And I have to say that because they're my dancers, but they really are. Like, we've got world champions, Scottish, British, Irish champions. We've a beautiful new singer who's just joined the show. Her name is Laura Doherty, and she brings a really lovely, we had a male singer until recently. Again, we like to change it up. So she just brings a whole new, fresh energy to the songs, even though it's a brand new production from October, already to us, the cast, who perform at 8 shows a week. When you change out an instrument, even if you change a fiddle player for another fiddle player, it adds, they each bring something unique to the show. Whether it's a change in the instrument, changing the vocals, even changing the dancers, because visually they're all so different, and then their own unique styles as well brings and adds edge to the show. So we're just really lucky, blessed, all of those kind of words you could use. Thanking me lucky stars, as my mother would say.
Indeed. Now, I think
we have such a great team. Yeah.
I think that's probably what sets your show apart. But Dane, you're also an accomplished dancer in terms of, as you mentioned, our competition and performing. Now, not only with the National Dance Company of Ireland's Rhythm of the Dance, but also, as you mentioned, River Dance. Now, besides which, adding another little dimension, you're part of a group that actually won a TV competition, Got to Dance.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well done.
That was incredible. Like, that was another, one of these little serendipitous moments throughout your career where you never know. And I say this to the dancers every time there's a new batch of dancers training in. I'm always like, you never know who you're actually standing next to, because for years, like, I was in shows and you just don't know what the tiniest little butterfly effect is going to have. So, long story short, we got to Riverdance, and that was my goal. From 6 years old, I was that kid, the same as many, 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 who had wandered into the living room or been beckoned by their parents into the living room in 1994 to be like, "Come here and look at this." And that was one of my earliest memories as well, was just getting called in to see River on the Eurovision in '94, and just being like very set that that was what I was going to do. So fast forward, I get to Riverdance, I get the dream, and I'm only there 3 years, to 2 years before a group starts to form of 7 dancers put together by a guy from Cork called Alan Kennefick, an incredible dancer and choreographer. He mixes Irish dance with tap and a little bit of everything. So he's got that edge, and then he starts to put together a dance group, a crew, if you will, in 2010. And we did Got to Dance on Sky. We went on a whim. We were like, we're going to do the TV circuit talent show thing and really try and just use that as a platform. We didn't think we were going to win, but that sounds like such a cliche. But when we got there for the pre-audition, it was very clear from the producer's response that there was something unique. We didn't even know, I think, what we had put together. It was 7 dancers, and Alan was, into skating and like motocross. So he goes, "Here, you're going to wear these motorbike jackets. They look cool." And we were like, "Sure, yeah, it's whatever." And, the music was modernized. So that definitely gave me a whole nother aspect of getting to peek into that TV world of how things are produced, and getting to work with really great choreographers from other styles. And just, it was, again, another blessing. Right place, right time. And that just changed me completely. Like, working with Alan and doing Got to Dance, winning that, then we took the winnings from that and used it to fund a tour and a show, and it went on tour in the UK, and it went on tour in China. And then he made another one, and that's done 2 residencies in Cork. But it's actually never gone on tour, and it is definitely one of the best shows I've ever been involved in. It's one of the most epic things, production-wise, that I've ever seen or been in. But, it's one of these things where it's like sometimes those shows, the world isn't even ready for it when it comes out, and it might take another 10 years before that's the mainstream thing. It seems like what we did on Got to Dance has had a ripple effect, but only to now, in 10 years later, the kids are dancing like that casually, to pop music on TikTok, loving life. And they probably don't even know who Prodigy were, but because they're so young. But it has had the trickle down effect that has been. It doesn't matter. Nothing matters at this point if we ever do anything again with that group, which I'm sure we will. But the impact was made, and like the dance genre has changed now. It's just so great to see that style so openly embraced across the board. Like, you've got dancers. It's just the norm now to, like, there's a group called Corja, and they have a huge following worldwide on TikTok. I think it's 7 guys. It could be, 6 or 8 or something, but they're just a group, again, of incredible dancers. Right place, right time, and the right media format that's just ready for them. So it's so great to see that, and see that that's an attainable thing for the younger dancers growing up, that there's so much available to them. Like, we thought we were lucky with the dance show craze of, like, oh my God, I can get a job in a show and actually do this for longer than a few years. And now there's even more opportunities for dancers. They don't need to, up and leave and go on a tour. They can, they have so many more options. And it's just great to see how Irish dance has evolved, that it's you can go and do a degree or a master's of Irish dance if you want in Limerick. At down in UL, they have great resources there for traditional Irish music, song, dance, arts, anything that needs protecting. They're definitely taking care of it down there. So it's just great to see that it's been embraced. It's so well celebrated around the world. Like, we've been on tour at Rhythm of the Dance alone. I've been here since 2007 on multiple world tours. Almost every year we're heading off, doing the circuit of Europe and then off to America. And if we're not in Ireland or the UK, every year or every other year. And then there's a China troupe that head out every maybe 3rd or 4th year. I don't know when we'll be back in China now, but it's so great that there is a market, there are jobs, it's pushing the profession, and there's room for everyone. So we're delighted to get the show back on the road, because even the little break we had there, I was like, okay, let's go, come on, let's get on stage. And like, it is an exhilarating show to perform for us. So it's actually been really fun today putting it back together after us being off for a couple of months. So we're just, adding, tweaking, changing little bits, seeing what we can improve. And just, really excited to because we haven't been in the UK now since, 2019, I think, summer of 2019. So yeah, it's all been rescheduled, and we've got brand new show, brand new energy, brand new cast. Like, everything is so new about the show. We have a brand new set, and the set production is incredible. Like, the set was designed with projection mapping in mind. Because we're moving every day, we had to really think about how do we just push everything to the max. So like, a new set was created, and it incorporates the graphics into the set, and it's very much integrated across the board. It's the tree of life through the 4 seasons, and it's like reaching across the landscape of Ireland to the cliffs. So one side of the stage is trees, nature, all that stuff. The other side is like rocks, the cliffs, hard, showing the light and soft of Ireland. And then in the middle, all the graphics can be projected onto this. And it just, between the new set, the new costumes, the new music, new everything really, and retaining the gems of Rhythm of the Dance, because we're into the 23rd year now. So there's one routine that has remained since 1998, from the very first conception of the show.
Fantastic.
And that really is rooted in the show. The show is called Rhythm of the Dance, so it'd be rude of us not to focus heavily on the rhythm of the dance. Pardon the cheesy pun, but there's a lot of a cappellas. There's at least 4 a cappella moments throughout the show where there are just the dancers, no production, just microphones, the dancers, their shoes, the floor, your ears, your eyes, and you really get to appreciate the simplest little patterns that come out of the feet. So that, if you can see those simple, slow patterns, and then your brain can grasp onto that visually, that when it's moving at 90 miles an hour, that like your brain, I can see the audience with us sometimes being like, how the hell do you do it? And they say that more often than not after the show. They always say, oh, I'm tired just looking at you. But
it's incredible.
we love it, and like, it's a constant back and forth of energy from what we give them from the first second of the show starting. Is like, if you're given the 110, people can't deny that. You can't deny energy exchange. And like, when you go out there ready to rock, and the audience don't even know what's about to hit them, I love that as well. That sometimes people come to an Irish show, they know what they're getting into, or they think they know what they're coming to, because they've seen something else that was Celtic this or Irish that. But Rhythm really has been around 23 years, and honing this format for all that time, and trying to just always going back to the same regions, same theaters, the same people. You start to see the same faces as well, and so like, that feedback becomes like gold, where when you're onto something good. And since the 2017 brand new productions, I'm able to tell by the audience reaction, having played that same theater every January, we'll say, or whatever, on a Tuesday night, that it's just a different, I don't know if it's because it's after the pandemic, people are even more appreciative of just the fact that they can experience live entertainment, but there is a shift in the response. It's so, I'm not saying it's a standing ovation every night, but it is. It's this guaranteed feeling that after that opening, you've just, you've changed their perspective on what they even thought of Irish music. And people come to you after the show too. I love going to meet the audience afterwards. We always, send out a small group of people each night to take pictures and sign merchandise and stuff like that. And when you're hearing the feedback from them, my favorite is someone who's been dragged to the show, like a husband or a brother or something, where they're like, yeah, my sister made me come, or my wife made me go, or whatever, but I loved it. I didn't know what I was going to see, or they thought they were going to see something, that they expected. But you get a little something extra here. Just because we've got such a multi-talented band and it's all live, so you can really tell. Like, we have beautiful BBC Symphony Orchestra backing tracks that are recorded and layered and, give it that production value. But the five band members are playing every single note live, and you can just tell from the first note that it's all real, and it's like hairs on the arms standing up, back of your neck, kind of that chill, that thing that Irish music can do, where it's almost haunting, but it's exciting. And so yeah, I'm very excited to bring the new show to the UK and get the audiences, hopefully, not just tapping their feet, like people's hands they're always like, my hands are clapped off me by the end. They're red hot, red raw.
That is excellent.
Very, very high.
Indeed, and highly, from a technical point of view, highly technically skilled and a great energetic show. You've certainly whet our appetite to see for ourselves, Dane. You can book Rhythm of the Dance in multiple locations, both evening shows and matinees. It opens tonight in Barrow Furnace at the Forum. There are dates throughout July in seaside spots and in the home counties, in the Alban Arena, St Albans, 3rd of July, the Orchard Theatre, Dartford, the 18th of July, the Gordon Craig Theatre in Stevenage, 20th of July, the Beck Theatre in Hayes, 21st of July, and many, many more besides. Listen, take a look at our website, irishradio.org, click on the banner, and it'll bring you directly to the bookings website. It's, as you mentioned, the 23rd year, Dane, of Rhythm of the Dance, and it's going from strength to strength. Now, Dane, we can't let you go without exploring one more thing. When we set up our interview with you, you had your mind a little on other things. You were being called to help with turf cutting and drying the turf. You're heading off on tour. It's a slight change in scene.
Oh, stop. Like, I mean, when I tell you, my hamstrings, like the back of my legs, and I dance every day of my life nearly. And the other day, I haven't been to the bog in maybe 2 or 3 years. Do you know what I mean? I think it was 2 years ago I was home for the bringing home of the turf. But like, that'd be normal, standard stuff like it's only 5 minutes from the house. So down we went. Dad goes to me, come on, you'll come and help me just make a few stacks of turf, like nothing major. It's only a small little plot. So we went down anyway. I was on the call to your researcher, and I had to just jump off the phone. I was like, really sorry, I have to go. My dad is here and he wants me to go and help him foot the turf. So we got it done anyway. I say we got it done. I went down, we got a good 65% of it done, and then he went and finished the rest of it the next morning. Leave me off because he felt bad, I think. But honestly, my hamstrings, I didn't realize how many times I was down and up, like 100 squats there in a few minutes. You wouldn't even realize it. Definitely, the turf took more out of me than a 2-hour show would.
Oh, great.
No jokes.
Indeed, in a moment we'll have some music from Rhythm of the Dance. Dane, listen, it's been a pleasure hearing all about your career and contribution and the sheer success of Rhythm of the Dance. And we'll catch up with you on one of your shows here in the UK. Dane, lovely to speak to you.
Same to you. Thanks so much for having me on.